It's the Paris Chong Show. It's the Paris Chong Show, show. It's the Paris Chong Show. Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to the Paris Chong Show. I guess you guessed who I am. And I have a very special guest. I say that every time, I know, but this is a very special guest because this is the first time I'm having someone on the podcast that I actually was a guest on his podcast.
That's
So it's
true.
really cool that I can reciprocate, right?
Yeah.
So welcome, Mitch Stringer.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. It's great. I'm so used to asking the questions. It's great to be kind of on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because I'm going to I have a little cheat sheet because I think I had a little weird morning and I lost my car keys and my house keys and everything else. So I was like using my prep time to just walk around the block 100 times to find my keys. But anyways, if anybody has a friend at Mercedes, have them call me. I need a new fob. Anyways, so we're going to talk about everything that you're doing, but I want it because you're a photographer, and the way we met was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
met in New York City at the 100-year anniversary of Leica that was being held at the Meatpacking District. We did this incredible party, a block party. It was insane, and there was a lot of festivities and a lot going on. And of course, Jason Momoa was floating around. So everybody was kind of like, oh, Jason Momoa is here because everyone gets so starstruck. I was standing in the hot sun in a really bad outfit I had to wear that was corporate. All the girls had to wear the same outfit. And it turned out to be a really hot day and very bad fabric for a really hot day. So we were all just out there dying in the sun. And I was standing there and one of my coworkers said, hey, can you go and relieve Belle? Belle's the gallery director of the Boston Gallery. She's lovely. She's very young. She's lucky. And so I said, yeah, sure, of course. So I walked over and I was like, yeah, I could use sitting in some shade and not being out here in the hot sun in this very hot outfit. So I walk in there, and as soon as I sat down, you kind of came in. Then right behind you was Jason Momoa. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, it's like crazy, and everyone's like swarming into the area that we were in. And it was just nuts. And then they finally had to close the door. And then we're sitting there talking. And that's how we met.
Yeah. Yeah. I was basically Jason Momoa's opening act. I came in and then I got the crowd warmed up and then he came in right after me.
Yeah, and then he came in and stole everyone's thunder. And he didn't even thank me for singing Purple Rain with him and his band at the Whitney Museum. And I'm Hawaiian. That's like no aloha right there. Okay, so tell me a little bit about, and that's how we started talking about the podcast. And then I was a guest on your podcast. And as usual, I never even know what the hell I'm saying. So I don't even know what I said, but I hope it went well. And then Rob Terrell was on the show also. Who else do you have from Leica coming on the show?
Yeah, it's been great. I've had so many folks. Jeff Garland's been on the show.
Oh, I love Jeff.
And he's just to say the very least an aficionado of all things that are like Kat Burns from the New York store also has her own photography things that are going on. Phil Caruso.
Oh, I love Phil. He's been sitting there also.
I know. He said when I told him that I was going to be joining you, he said, "Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. It's great talking to Paris." And I said, "Yeah, it definitely is." Let's see, Charisse May.
I love Charisse May. Big fan of Charisse May. That's my girl. She's in town soon.
Okay.
Oh, wait, she's coming on the 10th. Is it? What's the date? We actually asked Jeff to come on our show, me and my team, and I think he told us to fuck off.
Okay.
Wasn't that right, Down? In so many words, something like that. We thought we were kind of like scared and thought it was funny, but it's kind of scared, like because we didn't know if he was being serious or not. But he did say he was coming on the show, so hopefully that'll be soon. You're on the show soon, Jeff Garland. We did an interview during COVID, Jeff and I. When we were on lockdown and Leica was trying to get us to do different things to keep people engaged since there wasn't a lot going on at the store. So they told me I had to get on Instagram, which I was trying to avoid. So I only got on Instagram in 2020. And they said, you need to learn how to do this. I said, I don't really want to learn how to do that. No, you have to because you have to start doing interviews. And so I had this young girl from corporate teach me how to use the Instagram. It was like, and now I'm addicted like all the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
Like all the other kids.
It's a rabbit hole. And I think it's changed. Some may say for the worse, some for the better. For me, it's a photographic outlet. It's not a here's what I had for breakfast kind of thing. Because it's just for me, it's photography.
Have you heard of Iris?
I,
Alan Schaller just it's so weird, he just called, he lives in London, he ironically called, and the last time I think I was in here, he was in here. So he's starting a new platform for, just photography, Iris. And
that's
he's
great.
working a little bit with Leica, and it's cool. I think it's cool. It's like nobody's talking about, like, people's butt implants and stuff like that. It's just about
Yes.
photography.
Yeah, I think
But
we
you can have a butt implant
Y-
if you wanna go on
it can be on it as well. Yeah, I think that over time, several people have either started or promoted that kind of a platform to kind of
Mhm.
get back to early days of
Yeah.
Instagram. And I don't know that, to me, that they kind of come and they go, and I don't know which ones have gotten traction.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hard to tell, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, and you get these little notations that or notifications. So and so has joined fill in the blank, platform. I wish, having started multiple businesses, I have incredible respect for anybody who does, and people who are trying to kind of restore the focus, no real pun intended, on photography for some
Mhm.
of those platforms.
Yeah.
I wish them great success because I think that artistically, there's room for it. And I think that it makes sense. I know whatever number of followers a person has, for whatever that matters, I think only a fraction of those people who have chosen to follow you and your work actually get to see your work because of these
Yeah.
algorithms that none of us really
And it gets
understand.
you and it traps you in it because they do
Yes.
play some really interesting things, you have to admit. Like,
Hmm.
I just saw an old, ad for Mary Tyler Moore Show,
Oh,
and it
okay.
reminded me of my mom because my mom loved that show, so
Hmm.
I get and like, "Oh, yeah, I have a million things to do. I just lost my car keys. I have to do 2 podcasts, and I'm looking at Mary Tyler Moore, old," it gets addicting. You know who's coming on after you?
Who's that?
Greg Gorman.
Greg Gorman, I was introduced to him years ago by a mutual friend, had a phone conversation with him. I've never met him, but
Oh, well, you're gonna meet him today.
what a
Lucky
fascinating
you.
guy.
He's
That's
lucky
him.
he gets to meet Mitch Stringer.
He's probably a little nervous right
He
now.
he probably that's probably why he was running late. He's like, "Oh
Yes.
my god, you didn't tell me Mitch was gonna be there." I
What
think
to
he's
wear.
yeah, I think he went to get a haircut. But
Okay.
so yeah, so he's gonna come in here. I love Greg Gorman. I
Yeah.
love his work.
Yeah.
Now, to before we talk about photography, I want to talk a little bit about your podcast. Like we were
Sure.
talking about how you can tell who's listening and watching. Like how are you is it easy for you to find that stuff out? Because my team tells me about my show,
Mhm.
but we're kind of new. How long have you been doing it?
So I believe we just published, I want to say episode 55,
Wow.
and we probably have an additional five that are, I guess they say in the can,
Yeah.
but
On the can?
maybe on the can and in the can. We record on the
Not
can,
bad.
but yeah, we can tell what the listenership is, and there's still some things that we can't tell.
Yeah.
I know that whether you have 500 listeners, 1,000 listeners, 2,000 listeners, there are always going to be shows that have 10 times, 20 times, 100
Yeah.
times. But I think whatever your listenership is, if you equated that with sitting in a room and having that many people listening to you, almost like in an auditorium
Yeah.
setting, if it's 500, if it's 1,000, if it's 1,500, that's a ton of people.
I would hate that.
Yeah, well,
I
it's
could do this because it's just us and those 2 plants, but if it was like 500 people, I would not be in here. I
well,
would
luckily the
I
plants are
wouldn't
not
need that,
heckling.
yeah, no, I think they are, but
Maybe.
I don't like getting up in front of big crowds, it makes me nervous, even though I did with the Jason Momoa
I
band
was going
thing,
to say, you,
I
you you
know.
sang in front
That was
of a
after
lot of people.
Champagne, that was after Champagne, I'll sing anywhere after Champagne.
Maybe that's
But
the
that's
pre-gaming
the
that needs
key.
to
Yeah,
happen.
that's the key. How many years? I know 55 episodes, but how many years?
Yeah, so the show publishes on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So we're a little over 2 years now.
Okay, that's kind of similar to me.
Yeah.
But I've decided just because I actually have this crazy amazing job that's very intense and everything's very busy at the gallery, I've decided to go to once a month.
Yeah.
So, it's just we were turning and burning. I've had some great guests on. I'm really like when I look back and look at the guests, it's been really fun. It's fun doing a podcast. I also am always so surprised when people come to the gallery and they're like, "We love your podcast." I'm like, "People are listening to
So
it." No,
cool.
no, people I love your podcast. I'm like, "Okay, thank you." But I almost like the idea of just doing it, not looking at you, but just on the
Hmm.
voice, because I used to do radio and I'm kind of used to that. And it makes me feel more comfortable. But for whatever reason, we're doing this with all these cameras here. But and yours is that way. You do yours with your own camera.
Yes, yeah, and,
Mhm.
when I was in college and then after college, I started off in television and radio. I was on television, I was broadcasting college baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
That was television and radio, and then went on to do, DJing at a rock station, even doing metro traffic reports in Orlando. So, that was a kinda like a past life. So, I'm comfortable with, the cameras and that sort of thing, and to be able to marry that with the photography and talk to people like yourself and many others, yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's used to do I used to do news and traffic and top 40 for the Barstow stations. The Barstow
Really?
stations. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was insane. But you're like one of the very few photographers I know that like sports. Did
Really?
you ever notice that? Like a lot of photographers, they don't care about sports. That's why whenever we try to plan something at the gallery, oh no, there's a game on that day. No, it doesn't matter. The photographers will be there. They don't care
Interesting.
about the games. I mean, there's a couple of guys that, shoot for the Dodgers or this and that,
Mhm.
but typically I've noticed like photographer guys, they don't love sports. Have you not noticed that?
It's funny you say that because I know so many professional sports photographers, so it's sort of tough for me to separate myself from that. But I think the photographers that I know who are not sports photographers, well, Jeff Garlin is a huge sports
Well,
fan.
yeah,
Yeah, just huge sports fan. He and I talk baseball
he's
cards
from
and
Chicago. I mean, come on.
massive fan. And I
Those
know
people love their
Rob
sports.
Terrell's a big sports fan. But
Yeah.
I think that photographically,
That's 2.
yeah, right. We're at two and counting.
That's 2 that I could think of,
Yeah, no,
and,
I think that the photographers who are shooting with Leica specifically, I think that their focus tends to be, I'll call it a more considered form of photography, whether it's street, portraiture, architecture. There's other types as well, naturally, but yeah, maybe just mindset wise, there's not as much interest in sports as there is travel and
mhm,
architecture and just other things. That
mhm.
could
So
be.
so let's talk about you've photographed a lot of Major League Baseball teams, so
Yeah.
who have you taken photos of?
Uh, Pretty much all of them. I'm based in Baltimore, and so I'm shooting at Camden Yards, the home of the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
So all the teams that come through Baltimore to play the Orioles, I'm there on the field, essentially in the dugout, before and during the game, photographing both teams because I'm shooting for editorial purposes. So that's going to be your starting pitchers, it's going to be your home runs and the jubilation of the high fives and
Mhm.
home plays at home plate and that kind of thing. And then also either during the game or in between innings, looking for candid moments, portraiture opportunities that are there. And as I've been doing this now for over 15 years, there's a lot of baseball players who love photography.
Mhm.
And they will come up to me and, I'll get the, hey, what lens is that? Do you
Yeah.
mind if I take a look kind of
And what
thing?
are you shooting with?
So for sports, because of the need for very fast autofocus
Mhm.
and very long focal lenses, I'm shooting Sony.
Yeah.
And then for really everything else, my portraiture, travel, street, I'm shooting exclusively with Leica.
Mhm.
So I've sort of found this, have the tools you need for a specific assignment, and then doing so accordingly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how some guys are just only Leica. Like
Hmm.
even if the camera maybe doesn't really work for what they're
Hmm.
doing,
Sure.
like it is usually when you're moving fast, I hear. But I'm not a photographer, so but then there's a lot of other majority of the people I meet, they shoot with a few different cameras,
Hmm. Yeah.
but that for whatever reason they only want to say they shoot with Leica. It's like
Yeah, I think
you want to be cool, you have to say you only use Leica, or.
I have, many photographer friends who have, from I guess, a very sort of intellectual perspective, they've said to me, "How many times do you see photos in a gallery, not specifically a Leica gallery,
Hmm.
but a gallery, and you say that is an amazing shot. I wonder what brand camera they used." And the answer is probably never. And so I look at it as our goal as photographers is to create the best image we can. And if we feel there's a tool that's most appropriate to maximize the talent that we have and our
Hmm.
vision of what we have, well, you should be using that tool. And I know that even within Leica's ecosystem, there are certain models I use for certain situations, and then certain ones I use for other situations. So, if I'm going to be in a humid environment where rain is a very reasonable expectation, I'm probably taking my Q3. I'm probably taking an SL3, probably not an M11 because it's not weather
Right.
sealed. So, I'm looking at the situation and bringing the most appropriate tool with me.
Yeah. So you usually take 2 cameras with you?
Yeah, yeah, I do, and I would say that regardless of brand, because things happen,
Mhm.
and God forbid you're in a situation and you're there, whether it's on assignment or you're there on a self assignment or you're just there and it's a leisure type thing, and the one camera you have breaks,
Oh, yeah.
and you are SOL. And so, yeah, I'll always bring two, and it might be a one lens situation, but I'm still going to have that other camera
Yeah,
just
that's
in
good.
case.
So you've been traveling a lot, I see. So you just got back from Cuba, right?
Recently, Cuba and
Cuba.
Cuba. Yeah, oh, love Cuba.
I wanna go to Cuba.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I still get people who say to me, we can go there,
I
as
know
Americans, and
I know.
it's as easy as buying the ticket and indicating what form of visa you're going to be going under. I mean, the days of going through Mexico and then going in and not having your passport
Yeah, they
stamped,
sure didn't
those are,
make it easy. They didn't make it easy for a long time,
yeah,
but it just traveling's such a hassle now. Anyways, there's so much weirdness going on in the world, you know? People are
yeah.
scared to travel because they're scared they won't get back in and, all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah, I think it is, I think that there's perception and then there's reality, and those change seemingly by the hour now,
Mhm.
much more frequently than they
Mhm.
once did. And I know, I'll be headed to Morocco, and the thought of going there, I didn't second guess, but the thought of, are we going to do something to annoy Morocco? Are we going to be persona non grata in Morocco
Well,
next?
it seems like Americans are always kind of like that in foreign countries for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They judge us by that one loud Texan guy. You know,
Well,
the
yeah.
one obnoxious family that even the Americans are scared to say they're American. But there's always those people you see when you're traveling, like, oh my God, no wonder they hate us. You know?
Well, using Cuba as the example, having been there a number of times, I would have unsolicited Cuban people come up to me and they say, "We love Americans. We don't necessarily care for the American government,
Yeah.
but we love American people." And I think that too often our leaders don't necessarily represent what the actual people intend or want
Not
or
at
all.
all. Not even
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that, when I go to countries, really any country, I don't talk politics.
Oh God.
I don't talk
I
about,
don't like talking about it anyway. It's just too
yeah,
depressing.
yeah.
It's too depressing. So where are you? You're just going to Morocco. When are you doing that?
Go to Morocco the beginning of March, and I'll be traveling really across Morocco for 2 weeks. And my objective there is to really capture the people, the,
Yeah.
the architecture, just a sense of the history. They have just our culture here in the States is measured in hundreds of years. Theirs is thousands of years.
Mhm.
When we see a house here, if it's 150 years old, we say, wow, that's old. Over there, that's called new construction. It's just, that building's 1,000 years old. That one's 2,000 years old. And they're still there. They're still standing. And it's
I
amazing.
know. I think it's really sad how there's like all these kind of places and people just keep knocking them down to build something new.
Yeah,
Like Las Vegas, for example. They got rid of every famous hotel that was
I know.
they got rid of a hotel called the Landmark. I mean, it's a landmark. Wait, why are you blowing this up? I mean, I grew up in Las Vegas when I was little. I miss all those places, and every time they show them getting bombed, I'm just like, I'm
Yeah,
like, why are they doing this? Like, there's so much land there. They could build casinos other places, but I don't know. It's
yeah,
not good. I forgot that you mentioned Baltimore. I forgot that's another reason why I liked you because we're both from Maryland.
exactly.
I always wonder what it would have been like to stay there. So you were born and raised in Maryland?
Born and raised in Maryland, and lived all over, just work wise. I've lived in Miami, went to school in Florida, lived in Dallas, lived in Los Angeles, and just lived all over.
How long were you in LA?
3 years.
Did you like it?
Loved it.
Do you miss it?
Loved it.
I know LA's kind of a cool place, right?
Yeah, and just the neighborhoods, and driving around a little bit yesterday, and I've been here before, just coming back now to visit, but um, like we said about why are they knocking this down and that down? There's a lot of buildings that
They
I
got rid.
saw that have been knocked down, and I love then as now old Hollywood.
Yeah,
Loved old
yeah.
Hollywood, and I think whether it's the Spanish style architecture, whether it's the just the old just the old buildings. Maybe it used to be a recording studio, or it used to be.
Yeah, they've got rid of a few
Yeah, and,
things
and
here
I
that are
just
not good.
the whole vibe I loved. And
And the restaurants, they got rid of a lot of like, super famous restaurants, but
yeah.
I think I don't know, sometimes things change too quickly. So now, are you working on a book?
Yeah, I'm working on a book of my photography from Africa.
Do you think someone said to me recently, I did my first book that's coming out this year with my friend Jeff Whitman for the
Oh,
Pearl
nice.
Jam tour. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about that. But so I'm a little more interested. I'm getting more interested in publishing and doing more photo editing down the road and in the future. So someone, I can't remember who it was, but one of my photographer friends said that that's the ultimate goal.
Hmm.
It's not to have a gallery show, but to have an art book. Do you feel like that?
I think that this is funny. I think that having a book, it sounds morbid, but once we're gone, um,
Oh my God.
then to have something
Oh,
that
that's so.
remains
Oh.
afterwards, kind of stands the test of time, is something that it certainly feels good. What's funny is, so I had my book on Cuba published a couple years ago, and about 6 months ago, I'm in New York City at the Strand, the bookstore, the
Mhm.
Strand, and I was looking at books. I wanted to find a book on the photographer Bert Stern. So as I'm looking through these books on these shelves of just hundreds of thousands of pre-owned books, I'm looking, and Stern, 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 I'm looking. My book is there in the used books for sale. And I thought, wow, I've achieved something. I've
That's
finally
good.
been marked down. So there I was. Of course, I had to take a picture of it. But yeah, I think having a book it's very cool. You reach an audience that's beyond just the people that you know, and it's kind of like putting it out there in the world.
Did you find the Bert Stern book?
I did not find.
I have the Bert Stern book of Maryland.
Yes.
I
Oh,
love
that's,
that
yeah, of
one.
her last sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that. I can't believe I got that in London a million years ago. So do you have kids?
I have three.
So you get to
Yeah.
leave those little brats behind as a
I do.
legacy.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
two sons and a daughter, and they are characters. And yeah, yeah. So
Isn't
they,
it hard being a parent?
yeah. Oh yeah, of
I'm a
course
single
it is.
mom.
Yeah, you've got disco though, and
I've
your
got
son.
no, I have that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have two sons. One's
Okay.
half Chihuahua, one's half
Right.
Italian.
Right.
That's and they really are like my sons, but one's better behaved than the other one. I won't say who, but normally Disco would be here. I'm so sad he's not here,
I
but
know.
because I didn't don't have my car and I have to do stuff. I just thought it'd be easier to leave him at home. So he's probably having a nervous breakdown right now, or hopefully having a martini. I don't know. I don't know what he does when he's not with me because he's always with me. He'd normally be sitting right there under your chair. So do you have a dog?
I have a dog actually who's at the vet today. But yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I have a dog. Had three dogs, but fortunately two of them passed. That's the downside. You have these furry loved ones, and even when they, as mine did, live these very long lives, 13 years,
that's
15
not long.
years. And well, it is for what their normal
Yeah,
lives,
I know
some of their
it's
lifespans
Disco's
are.
13 and I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
I just the thought, I just can't imagine. How old's the dog that's still here?
9. Yeah,
Oh, so
9.
you had 3 kids and 3 dogs at the same time?
Yes.
Wow, you're a glutton for punishment.
And rabbits and a guinea pig. Yes. But
That's cute.
it's a menagerie. It was a
No,
menagerie,
that's good.
but yeah,
No
yeah.
goldfish?
No, no,
No.
no
Okay.
goldfish.
No goldfish.
I,
Well, rabbits
I know, I
guinea
know.
pigs usually you could cut they can with the goldfish parents.
Yeah.
But then you always have to just flush them down the toilet and have funerals for them,
Yeah.
and that makes you sad. You know what really creeped me out the other day? Speaking of what, like, unfortunately, like how living and dying and whatever. But I got the weirdest, like a really pretty looking invitation in the mail,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, I wonder what this is, thinking it's something good. It was like from some crematory
Okay.
that was like, you need to start thinking about this. I was so freaked out. I just couldn't. I'm like, like,
Yeah.
I mean, do you hit a certain age and then you start getting the crematory, packages? And
Oh,
it and they
oof.
fool you with the pretty invitation.
Of
It looked like a
course.
really beautiful invitation. It didn't look like junk mail at all. And it was really like I kinda read the first paragraph. I'm like, "God," I mean, I guess maybe one should think about that, but I'm gonna throw that in the trash. I'm not going anywhere right now. That is I don't it really kind of disturbed me.
Well, maybe,
Have you ever got something like that?
you know what, I
I'm gonna cry.
I thi
I
I
don't
think when you
wanna get that. Whoever said that, don't send it again.
right, when you sign
I'll
up
figure
for
it out.
AARP,
Oh, I didn't
within a
do
week no,
that.
neither did I. Within a week, they'll just send you that. Yeah, you thought you were gonna have a good day until you got the crematory's promotional mailing.
I have a friend who tried to get me to say my friend's like, "You need to get AARP or whatever. You get free movies and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Girl, you are rich as hell. Why are you needing free movies? Why would I wanna get that? That's
Maybe
just like a dead giveaway that you are old, old, old. I don't
maybe
want
triple A. That's about as much as
Hey,
I
you know
need.
what? I was glad I had AAA today. They came quick and they opened my door, the alarm went off. At least I was able to get my purse and my everything out of there. I'm very sad about that, but I'm going to move on from this. Today was a really big test for me not to have a nervous breakdown and just get on with business. And I was like, if you're an actress, you'd have to pull your shit together and just go and do it, and then you can be freaked out later.
Yeah, there's time for that.
Yeah, whatever.
Right before calling the crematory to
Yeah,
make that
I mean, but
reservation.
how dare you? I know. I've never got mail like that before. It really, really freaked me out, and I didn't like it or appreciate it at all. Okay, so following up to your Cuba book, is there? So is you know what? I cannot believe we're both from Tacoma Park.
No, well, you are, and I
Wait,
met
did you put that?
I did.
Wait, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I need glasses now also. That's why I'm getting the crematory information and stuff, and I didn't bring them. I had to get my first pair of glasses to read like this.
Got hey,
So wait, Baltimore. Yeah, my dad was from Maryland. My dad was
yeah,
born and raised in Maryland. So wait,
Maryland's a good
did you
place.
say, okay, getting back to the book. Is there another there is another book coming?
I'm working on gathering the images for a book on African wildlife.
Okay.
So I've been to various countries in Africa many, many
I haven't been to
times.
Africa.
Yeah, as a photographer and a person who loves animals, you would lose your mind.
I have a friend who has he's a Leica guy and he owns a big gorgeous safari spa.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
know you have to fly into Cape Town to get there, but
Okay.
I should connect you guys.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
he wanted to do some photo tours, and it's a really beautiful, and he's in New York. I'll introduce you guys. Um my brother-in-law's Ugandan, and I need to get over there. I have a nephew who's half Ugandan, so I definitely want to go visit Africa.
Uganda is great,
I have to have a reason
especially
though.
well, it's especially great for the gorillas in Uganda is
Yeah.
incredible.
I know myself so well, and I don't see myself doing that.
I've talked to people who have
I just don't see
been
me being in the bushes with the
well, you're
mosquitoes and a camera with
well,
gorillas. I envy people that have want to do that,
mhm.
like the people that swim with sharks. Like, but I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't. I'd rather just go like, to a beach or something like that. Maybe I'm not so
You could do
adventurous
that.
anymore.
Maybe have a vehicle-based safari, so
I would
you're
like
not
to watch
hiking.
you take yeah, I would like to see your photos of gorillas, but I'm not gonna get out there and do it. I've decided, that I wanna blow everybody's mind and all of a sudden just say, "You know what I wanna do? I just wanna be a photographer now."
You should do that.
Because I take really good pictures, but with my iPhone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really love taking photos.
Yeah,
I can understand why you guys are so addicted to taking photos, and
that
girls,
they
guys and
say
girls.
the best camera is the one you have with you at the time.
What do you have with you at the time?
Well, I have my iPhone, and then in my backpack, I have my EV1 and four
Do you
lenses.
like that?
Love,
Yeah.
love, 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 love.
Who's
Yeah,
your mentor?
yeah. Photographically, I guess I don't have one per se, although especially from a wildlife standpoint, my dear friend Art Wolf, the wildlife and cultural photographer, has taught me just such an incredible amount about not just photography in general, but I find that it's the small moments that one you have to recognize are there and you
Mhm.
have to be ready for them and then you have to make that picture. And I think that that's, anybody can take a halfway decent picture, especially now with the technology.
Yeah.
But to really see in a way that's unique and anticipate in a way that only that particular photographer can is really something. And you talked about Greg Gorman, and I've heard him speak many, many times, and he talks about understanding in someone's face the angles, the light, creating
Mhm.
the light, seeing the lines of a person's face, and just kind of figuring out the best way to photograph them to show them in their best light.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Manfred Bauman's like that as well. Manfred Bauman makes everyone look better than they really do.
Hmm.
That's why I love taking photos with him. I'm like, you're my guy. But I'm like, I didn't look like that day.
Well, you're a Sylvie Blum fan.
I love
I know
her.
you said you. I heard you say that if you were going to have someone do nude
She
photography of
did,
you,
but,
it would
we
be you.
promised no, we would never show that. I don't feel comfortable being nude. Like I said, I'm a bad Catholic, and I was raised but by these crazy women that made me always pull my skirt down and don't show anything and don't boys only want one thing. Terrible, grew up like this, and so I'm very shy. Like even in the gym, like all the ladies are like butt naked. I'm also jealous of them. I'm like, how come I want to be like that, but I'm not. And I'm not going to go take pictures with the gorillas naked ever. But I let her take pictures of me naked. It was kind of weird though, because I love her husband Dieter, but he was kind of floating about. I think I would have been more comfortable if he wasn't there.
Little
I
less
was like,
Dieter
why the
floating,
hell is Dieter here?
right?
I didn't see him and I don't want to see him. And she did some fun photos of me and that's good enough. But yeah, I'm not the girl that loves to take photos anymore. I think, not that I did before, but I love it when someone makes you look better than you really do, because I do know a lot of photographers, and I'm not going to name any names or throw anyone under the bus, but there are some photographers out there that are really good photographers, but they don't take good pictures of you. And you never want to share that picture ever again. You're
That's
like, then
interesting.
they think they're sending you like this beautiful photo of you, and you're like, holy, I, I need a, I need a whole face remodeling.
A
I need
renovation.
something. I need to just get a big hat and glasses, and do that now. But and I don't know what that is either.
Well, you know what? We are all our own worst critics.
Yeah, Zoom ruined it for me. I really.
Well, that's not flat. That
No,
kind of
oh
light's
my
not
God.
flattering.
Like I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to somebody and be looking anywhere on that computer at me. I don't want to
Yeah.
see me. I want to see the person I'm talking to. Like I don't want to be talking to you right now and also be seeing me. I just
Yeah.
want to see you.
It,
I
re-
mean, it's weird, right?
it reminds me, especially when you're on a multi-person call, it reminds
Oh,
me of the Hollywood
gives me a
Squares.
headache. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
The Brady
exactly.
Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were saying that after, because of all the Zoom, like that the all the online calls, and plastic surgery went through the roof because of
Really?
people looking at themselves and being so critical, you know,
I believe it.
which I know, but it's like I didn't know you had so many tattoos.
I got my first tattoo when I was 47.
Oh
And
wow, I like
and
the peacock.
yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite ones.
I
So
love that.
and then I have my dog Rookie
Oh,
who passed away and
I think I should get a tattoo of Disco.
yeah, you should. Yeah.
I really
And
should.
I got this before Rookie passed, so she got to see it. But
Oh.
since we know that Disco has many, many years ahead to go, get one soon.
Okay, I did it. I have a really bad tattoo, but I don't even want to talk about that. It's of a cross. I'm in the art business. It could have been a way better tattoo because I know so many artists.
Right.
But I don't know. Okay, so you're gonna do another book. You've got three kids at home and
Yeah.
one dog, a
Yeah.
rabbit, and a guinea pig.
Yeah,
And
it's
oh, I'm
busy.
hoping to God a wife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can you
yeah,
imagine? I'm a single dad,
yeah.
and I'm. And I'm
Takes to take care of all
You
those.
have
So
a
yeah.
nice life, it sounds like.
You know what? Depending on which day, which part of a
Yeah.
day, yeah, yeah, generally so,
So
generally
she
so.
your wife's cool with you traveling about all these places?
Yeah, yeah,
I always wonder that about photographers because they travel so much, how the wives are home with the kids and all that.
yeah, yeah, as they say, barefoot and pregnant, like that old saying
Yeah,
goes.
which is a horrific
It's
saying. We need
horrible
to get
saying.
rid of that saying. Nobody
Yeah,
wants that anymore. That's not cool anymore.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, her type of travel is not sitting in a safari vehicle
With
for
gorillas?
8 hours a day
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. So, yeah,
I'm with her.
yeah, the more adventurous stuff, the things that I really prefer to do. Yeah, I'm
What
out
will
there.
she go with you to? The beach like
Um,
me?
no, I think if I was going to, go to rural England and go to the Cotswolds and,
Okay, she'd
see
wanna come.
sightsee and see the pretty places or, Florence, Italy and these kind
Yeah.
of things and, shop and sightsee and have great meals and that kind of thing,
Well, who wouldn't wanna do
which
that?
nobody would
Yeah.
not
Like,
like.
who would say no to that?
I just, for some reason, I have always enjoyed things that are outside of my regular life experience, things that I feel like if I'm uncomfortable, I'm super focused in general because it's things that are going on that are not my life experience. And I want to absorb it. I want to be there and present in the moment. And I want to create images that tell the story of the people where I'm at. And so I mentioned my friend Art Wolf. Art and I were in Bangladesh, and this is sadly one of the poorest nations in the world. And just to photograph the people and what they're going through and how they persevere and they make it through each day. And same with Cuba and same with parts of India. So I like to be in places that make me uncomfortable and pay attention and learn. I mean, I feel like anybody can go to a gorgeous
Mhm.
resort area, but honestly, I get bored
Yeah.
there. I really
That's
do.
cool.
I really
Do
do.
you work with any charities?
I have not worked with charities, and
You should,
yeah,
because that if you're doing this for awareness reasons,
yeah,
and sometimes it's good to partner with charities because then you get exposure and you get to collaborate with other people's mailing lists and
yeah.
resources,
Yeah, that could be a possibility. That could
Mhm.
be a possibility. I have sort of two sides to my brain, one being the artistic, the other being sort of the business side.
Mhm.
And so when I have worked with some charities in the past, I've questioned, how much of every dollar is going towards
Yeah,
helping that
you
cause.
have to
And
worry about that too,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because if your work is out there, your photography is out there representing that particular cause, even though you're not involved in any of the financial decisions, your work is out there representing that charity.
Mhm.
So whatever goes on, good or bad, you're attached to.
Yeah,
What
that's true, that's true.
Yeah. So and there's many good charities, and I like to think most do a really good
I know
job.
Greg Gorman has a charity, a dog charity,
Okay.
and it has paws in it. I
Oh,
remember that. So I'm
nice.
like, I knew I liked that guy.
Yeah.
Well, what advice would you give young people trying to get into the business of photography?
Yeah, what I would say is, you can learn f-stops and shutter speeds and rule of thirds and all those things. You can learn that a lot of different ways, and it's not that hard to understand those basics. What's most important is having a vision and a style that is specific to you. Because if you said, I can make a competent portrait, that's great, but you and hundreds of thousands of other aspiring photographers, what is it about the way you see portraiture, the way you see light, the way you see form that is different? And for those young or any photographers that are up and coming, it's not about what filters can I put on this. I remember years ago, I hired a young photographer to photograph a clothing line that my son and I had created. And I wanted kind of a young, hip kind of a vibe. And I thought, well, I'm a dad. I'm a little bit older than the demographic. Maybe I'm not as in touch. And what I saw was decent photography, but filters were being put on this in a way that if the shirt is red, the shirt should be red. If it's like a fire engine red, it should look like that. A filter shouldn't make it look burgundy or pink or
Yeah.
whatever. So have a vision, know how to execute it in a repeatable way, understand light, make yourself different. Because if you don't make yourself different, if you don't stand out in a crowd, you're just another image that nobody's going to stop at.
That is incredibly good advice.
Yeah, thanks.
I feel that too. Like, just be original. Don't worry about the technical stuff. I actually have a show coming up this summer called Leica Emerging with eight young artists, all under the age of 30. They're all mainly closer to 25, 26. So, and I've been trying to do it for a couple of years, and they keep getting older. So I'm just like, okay, now it was 25, now it's 30. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it before you guys turn 31. Damn it! So I'm really excited for that show. Maybe we could get you to come out and teach something.
I'd love to
How
do
long
it.
are you in town?
I'm in town for about a week now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I get to see you at the gallery.
Yeah, I'll either be there today or tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, you should come on Thursday. Manfred Bauman's doing a photo shoot there.
I'll,
Or come whenever you want.
okay.
Where,
Yeah.
what part of town are you staying in?
I am just above Sunset. I'm in Hollywood.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Is that where you used to live when you lived here?
I actually live right in Wilshire and La Brea area, right near
Oh,
the tar
nice.
pits.
Oh, that's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, LACMA, by LACMA.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Sweet.
it was so nice when I did live there, just to be able to walk around, go to the coffee shops and the
Yeah.
little boutiques, and I definitely miss all that.
Did you rent a car?
I did,
Okay, can you give me a ride home?
of
I'm just
course.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm Ubering all day today.
I'm going to date myself here, as the Missing Persons song said. Walking in L.A.
Walking in
Nobody
LA.
walks
Yeah,
in L.A.
no, but you know what? I had a show called Walking in LA, and it was
Oh,
all a color show about LA.
oh wow.
Yeah, I love that show. I'm going to do another one of those. Well, it's been a real treat. Mitch Stringer.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Stringer?
Yes. Oh, yes, I
Yeah, I
have.
want Nick to come on the show soon.
Yeah,
We are all in favor of Nick Ut. That I haven't even seen it because I just don't even want to see it. That's horrible.
I think you should see it.
You do?
I do.
Okay, well, I don't want to be ignorant, but it's upsetting to me from what I've
Yeah,
heard, because he's
yeah.
a dear friend of mine and I love him, and he's going to be in the show soon. We have so many shows coming up. I'm juggling 6 shows right now. I don't know how I do it.
Well, somehow you make it
And then I come
happen.
down here and do this crazy show. And thank you for coming in today, Don Don. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, my special guest, Mitch Stringer. And how can we find you? And what is your website?
Sure, I would say, the best way is Instagram, which has
We
the
love.
which has the most up-to-date everything. That's Mitch Stringer Images, and then mitchstringerimages.com on the web.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Is there
Thank
any
you.
last things you want to add?
No, not really, other than to say, I very much love your show.
Oh, thank you. I love your
And
show.
when I saw you in New York at the Leica 100th anniversary, I said I've got to introduce myself, and I'm so glad that that we met.
Yeah.
It was just a thrill to have you on my show, and likewise to be here with you. So thank you.
Oh, that was a great closing note. I love it. We'll always be friends because we're from Maryland.
Exactly, it's a
Maryland people are nice, okay? Aren't they?
it's a Maryland thing.
Yeah, it is. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. See you next time. It's a Paris Chong show. It's a Paris Chong show, show. It's a Paris Chong show. It's a Paris Chong show, show. Sit down and chat for a while. Tell me everything you know. Let's be naughty, let's be nice. It's the Paris Chong Show.